Welcome to the Relationship Recovery Podcast, hosted by Jessica Knight, a certified life coach who specializes in narcissistic and emotional abuse. This podcast is intended to help you identify manipulative and abusive behavior, set boundaries with yourself and others, and heal the relationship with yourself so you can learn to love in a healthy way.
Hello, and thank you for being here. A lot of my clients will ask, what is a healthy relationship? What is a safe relationship? And so I wanted to take a step back from some more of the educational content and talk more about behaviors of a safe relationship. I'm going to go over 5 that are the opposite of what we typically see in a narcissistic or an abusive relationship. And as I talk through these, I just want to invite you to really be honest with yourself. Are these triggering to you? Are these making you feel worried or scared? Does this feel so far from where you actually are? The first step in healing from abuse is getting right with reality. So let's dive in. The first one I want to talk through is the willingness to communicate, the willingness to have conversations. If you're in a healthy relationship with what I would call a safe partner, you'll always feel, they will always want you to feel loved and supported and heard. They will want to know how you feel, and they'll share how they feel. They'll always want to find a way for you both to be respected, even in a tough conversation. They won't name call. They won't yell. And if they do yell or if they raise their voice, they typically backtrack. They care about how you feel. And they invite the conversation in, even if it's tough. They want to hear it, even if it's hard, because their goal is to work through it with you. The second thing that I want to touch on is the desire to resolve conflicts. Anyone that has been in a toxic or abusive relationship knows how hard it is to resolve a conflict with somebody that does not want to resolve a conflict with them. You know, like they'll be there to fight. They'll be there to win. But in a safe partnership, there's an understanding that the conflict will happen, that conflicts do happen. It's impossible for people to be on the same page all the time. We get dysregulated in our day-to-day. We act out too. A safe person in a healthy relationship will try and move through it as a team and find solutions that at the end of the conversation, your connection is strengthened, your communication might be enhanced, and that the entire time you feel like this person's here to resolve this with me, not to fight with me. A healthy relationship also embraces an openness and willingness to grow together. I've been in a few toxic relationships where everything was blamed on me. My job, my work, my past, my trauma, my therapy, my kid, whatever it might be. A safe partner will understand that they have their own side too, and that they can improve, and they will be willing to reflect and take accountability and change when necessary. They most likely will also care when you give feedback to them, inviting them to change. In a healthy relationship, a safe partner would take accountability. It takes emotional maturity to acknowledge when you're at fault, and a safe partner will be capable of doing that, and they'll want you to be able to do the same. They'll be willing to support you by pointing out your blind spots, and they'll want you to do the same. This will be a place where you help each other, not where you're teaching each other how to be emotionally mature, but you can call each other out. You know, in an abusive relationship, in a toxic relationship, it's usually one person always apologizing, and the other person, if they do apologize, it's a half-assed apology. In a safe, healthy relationship, you both can be accountable, but it's not that you're both always wrong. If someone forgets the time of dinner and doesn't show up, one person is accountable. In an abusive relationship, that scenario, the other person would be blamed because they didn't remind them. And lastly, a healthy relationship has a base level of respect. That's the foundation. Well, the partnership has boundaries. It's founded on respect. Each partner will listen and support each other. They will also be responsible for managing their emotions, their reactions, and their own individual behaviors. When I get frustrated with my boyfriend, probably about 90% of the time, it's because I'm having a rough day and I'm just being reactive. And it takes a lot of work to pull myself back together and not react. But it's so important that I do that so that way I'm not just lashing out on him all the time. Or that I'm realizing, oh shit, when these situations happen, I tend to blame him. I don't want to do that. That doesn't feel good. And so he also takes accountability. He takes accountability a lot. It was interesting. I had an abusive partner that once told me that I never take accountability for anything. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I can literally find places that I have, like I can send screenshots. I will pull up the receipts. I mean, I could have pulled up every receipt that I possibly ever had, and he still would have told me I never took accountability. He would have said I lied. That's a projection. You know if you're taking accountability or not. And I imagine that in a toxic relationship, you likely are if you're the one listening to this. And just know that in a healthy relationship, both parties do it. And so these are just some signs of a healthy partnership. There are a lot more. Not everything has to be perfect, but at least this is one step that you can take a look at your communication and ask yourself, are we communicating in healthy ways or not? This really just scratches the surface of this topic, but I hope it was helpful in at least starting this inner conversation around what is healthy, what is not, and does this person feel like a safe partner? I hope that this was helpful. You can reach out to me at Jessica Knight Coaching or at Emotional Abuse Coach on Instagram, at jessicaknightcoaching.com and at emotionalabusecoach.com. Thank you.